Hello, and welcome to my URISA digital competition presentation. My name is Marko, and I'm a current Master's of Science student studying Geographic Information Systems at Johns Hopkins University. And today I'll be discussing to you guys about predicting crime in Baltimore over the next 10 years. And so the objective of this project was to predict the number of crimes to occur from 2023 to 2033, and in particular, have the predictions break it down even further by looking at the types of crimes that will be occurring, where exactly on the map will these crimes occur, and also at what year will these crimes be occurring. And so the methodology to produce these predictions are as such. To start, an input data set will be needed. And so the Part 1 crime data set will be used that was produced from the Baltimore Police Department. And in particular, we'll be looking at the years 2013 to 2023 for our input data. Before the data could be utilized for the machine learning model, some transformations and data cleanup will have to occur to ensure that the input values are adequate for the model. When the input data set is ready for the machine learning model, an XGBoost regressor and k-means algorithms are used to generate the type of crime that will be occurring, the coordinate points for the given point, as well as what year this crime will be occurring at as well. When the machine learning model has produced the predicted values, the transformations have turned all the categorical data, so all the data that has text values, into integers. As such, we'll have to reverse transform the crime type field, as well as do some final cleanup to ensure that the predictions are adequate, and naturally host the results in a web application to ensure that the results are publicly accessible and promotes interactivity with the data. As such, a hosted web application was made using jQuery and the ArcGIS SDK for JavaScript to do so. In order for the data to be published online, ArcGIS Pro was used to publish the predicted values as a feature service. And so the results for crime over time is as such. To start, the predicted graph is on top, whereas the input data set is on the bottom. And we can see that over time, crime will be decreasing as a result. However, when looking at the maximums in the predicted values versus the input data set, we can see that the predicted values are indicating a lot more higher numbers of crime to occur in the first 5 years when compared to the input data set. In particular, when looking at the year 2026 in the predicted chart, we can see that the number of crimes reported will be just over 50,000. However, when looking at the maximum number of crimes in the input data set, in this case is 2016, we can see that just over 38,000 crimes will have already occurred. However, nonetheless, if we were to add up the total number of crimes for both graphs, we can still say that the overall decrease in crimes will occur by about 5%. And naturally, these graphs are produced using the ArcGIS Pro software as well. When looking at the types of crime that will be occurring in the predicted values versus the input data set, we can see that the number of reported crimes are going to be similar when compared to the predicted types of crime versus the input types of crime. Naturally, there are still some subtle differences as indicated in the data labels. However, the similarity is still there to be made. And naturally, these graphs were also produced using the ArcGIS Pro software. And so a heat map, as briefly mentioned, was produced using the custom web application that was built. And so I'll be giving you guys a brief demonstration on how the web application is utilized. And so to start, the heat map indicates the frequency or the density of points being present. And on the bottom here, we can see a time slider that could dynamically query the input predicted feature layer and show dynamically over time where exactly these crimes will be occurring at, and also visualizing the density in the form of this heat map. We can see that there are some areas that are colder than others, and actually also areas that are warmer than others. For example, if you would like to further look at the types of crime, we can also look at the, for example, common assault, and then additionally, over time, visualize the different crime types that will be occurring over time as well. The benefit as well is that you could select multiple different crime types, or if you just like to look at one, that is also sufficient as well. Naturally, the heat map is a great way to visualize the results of the predicted values to indicate where exactly on the map will these crimes be occurring at, and also being able to dynamically zoom in and to check to see with even more detail on where the crimes will be occurring at. There is a way to clear all the queries as well, and we can see how it dynamically does so. And if you're ever unsure on how to utilize the web application, there is a view splash page button that you could click on that goes over how the results were produced. It also indicates a little crash course on how to utilize the application, and also indicates the source data sets that are found as well. And so in conclusion, the predicted results indicate a 5% decrease in crime when compared to the input data set. However, there will be certain years that will be indicating more historic number of reported crimes when compared to the input data set, the year 2026 being a good example. However, by utilizing GIS, such as the heat map web app, we can see that visualizing trends would be highly recommended utilizing this technology, as it's able to produce different types of visuals that could promote more informed decision making and be able to predict the crimes before they happen. And thank you so much for listening and watching my presentation. I've also listed my GitHub link for the source code if you would like to look at the machine learning code or the web application code in more detail, and also the link to the hosted web application using JSBin. And naturally, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or would like to learn more about the project that I've conducted here. I've posted my email and LinkedIn as a result. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.